which is morning, and we got another writing day today. I am doing Distorted Reality again, Hidden Shadows, book 3, and I was gonna try to alternate every week with a different book because I do 3 books a week, so I was gonna do a different recording for each book for you guys, but I just was feeling taking you guys with me because I got a lot of ideas for today. I'm excited. I am most likely jumping around, and I do have an extra week this month because what it's supposed to be is 2 weeks out of the month. I do sprint writes for Hidden Shadows, and then the last week before my break is like an editing to try to edit to post. But we have an extra week this month, so I'm writing this week and I'm writing next week, and it'll be the following week when I edit. So I figured I can skip around, and I do have all of next month already written, which works out well. So my goal is to try to start writing 6 chapters each week that I do write, so eventually it will compile to help me lead over when I do the 5 months of writing not Distorted Reality. It can hold me over there. So that is the goal. So we are working on hopefully getting another 6 chapters done. Not 6 chapters in line because I have ideas of what I want to do, and none of them are in line with order-wise. I do want to get some Maddie done. I do want to get some Calston done, and I have an idea for at least a flashback for Tanner. And then I'm going to do Matt. I have a vague idea of what I need to do for his chapter. It's going to be, at least for the first half of the book, is more strongly leaning towards every other chapter being Tanner, with some either, like, basically the goal, at least for now, we had Maddie, Tanner, and now we're going back to Maddie, and then we'll do Matt, Tanner, then it will be Maddie, Calston, Tanner. So I'm kind of like trying to divvy it up a little bit to where I'm wanting to focus on Tanner because he is the main person right now correlated with Madison as far as in interacting, if you can qualify it for that for now. But as far as in, there's reasons I think that he needs to be the main one every other chapter instead of having the other boys, since she's more so away from home and away from them, so it's not really going to. I have my reasons. We'll say that is what I'm doing. So I do have to get Matt done today. I don't know. Well, no, I did think of the flashback. The flashbacks are probably going to be super short with Matt and maybe with Maddie for this one, but I do have an idea of what I want to do for Calston. So Calston is more so the one I'm jumping to, like away from the main order and to Calston's point of view, because I think that one's going to be fun. If I get to it, then I will give you a sneak peek of why it's so fun. If I don't, then I guess you guys will have to wait. But I'm excited for it. Like I said, goal 6 chapters. They don't have to be long chapters, but because I do 2 a week, for them, since the flashbacks tend to be short, and that way if they are short, it's kind of like a compensation of these were short chapters but you got 2, so hold you over until next week type deal. That is the goal. Yep. And then Tanner's flashback, this is a fun thing that I was thinking about doing as far as in with the Lost Kids. If you don't know about that, or that is a book I've been working on and have had many vlogs with that, so check them out. If you don't, that's at least a little bit of a acknowledgement of what that is. And because it's such a long book, I have to be careful not to add too much fluff and to make sure that everything is important. And at the same time, I'm kind of sad because there's some things I would like to expand on, but I know it's best not to because it's not going to be as needed in the book. So what I'm going to do that I thought could be a fun idea is with the chapters with Tanner, what I'm going to do is chapters that I don't get to write in the Lost Kids, in their point of views, Maddie's or Tanner's or both, I'm going to do them in Hidden Shadows and in the flashbacks here, and I think that'd be fun. And even more so, like, I'm going to try to give at least enough context, that way if somebody is reading the book, they can be, or reading both, they can kind of put in place where this would be. One of the chapters that I'm working on now is there was a scene that Tanner was coming out when he was a kid of, I want to say, his set of trials, and they basically went to hang out, and it was a hangout that I wanted to dig into, that I thought would be cute and fun, but I realized that it was going to be more fluff than anything, and that a brief mention of it was better. But this way I can dig into it, and there's other chapters and other flashbacks that I'm going to be able to use beneficially, that I think would be fun to dig into their past during this time of the first set of trials. I think that'd be so much fun. And I did have the first flashbacks with them as copy and paste chapters, and I'm trying to not have it to where that's going to always be the case, to where I do flashback books, so you're going to get repeated scenes but more expanded upon, and at the same time I want to have a lot that's not necessarily touched on, so this would be a chance that I can, instead of you rereading, whether you read this book first or read The Lost Kids first whenever that comes out, instead of rereading things you've already read, it gives a chance to give more story and more context to things. Context. I don't know why I'm saying that. Context. Gives more context to things that were not necessarily needed for the Lost Kids book, but is beneficial because it digs more into their relationship. And let's start the day and get things in. I have no clue if this vlog is going to be as long as the other one. Last vlog was extensive, but that's just because it's the first of the book and I was excited for it and had so much to say. And hopefully this one, I'm not going to try to keep it short, but I'm also not going to try to keep it long. I just try to have these as long as they feel are needed. So let's start our day. And it is about time to start. I'm not going to say I'm going to start right after this, but it's close enough that I'm going to go ahead and make it now and then get to writing and log the time when I start. I've already said basically what I'm working on. I'm going to start with Madison's chapter. I think I have an idea of what I'm wanting to do with it. There's a chance it could be broken up into 2 chapters, the idea that I have, but I am going to try to wrap it up in one, because there's like the first week I don't want to be taking and dragging on like how the last book was basically, I want to say roughly a week, most of it being one day. I'm not trying to do that for this book. The first week can be like the first third of the book, maybe the first 100 pages, but I'm trying to make it a little bit faster paced. Not super fast, because there's still a lot we have to get into. But nonetheless, I'm trying to be a little bit more faster pace because I'm trying to be mindful. So I'm starting with Madison's chapter. Hopefully it should all be in one. The goal is to have her chapter, like basically only 3 of her chapters being the first day. So we have this chapter, which is like breakfast to midday, roughly. And then the following chapter with her would be like going to sleep. So I guess technically 5, because we have the dream to start and dream to end. I don't know how you want to count that. But 3 waking chapters with her for the day. Hopefully I can the idea is to give at least a good idea of what to expect for her waking hours, and then kind of have a little bit of a time jump, maybe more so dealing with dreams. That's going to be the main priority. So probably have, maybe I'm either leaning towards more so you're going to have the dreams every night that she has them, with just a really vague understanding of what's going on in the morning time, maybe just a quick glimpse of what's most important, but kind of leaning more towards into the dreams. Or less likely, but I could also I did a dream sequence in the first book to where there was a time jump and then you just got a whole bunch of dreams, because the dreams themselves were the more important aspect that I felt before the jumping, because I gave a grounding of what to expect, and basically this is what's going on that you're missing. So it's basically you have an understanding of the romance part of this is where it's leading. So let's do a time jump because we're needing to do a time jump. And then also on Matt's side, I also did a text message, so you saw what was needed on that side, but not necessarily in depth of every day. So if I lean into that, I know that I could, but I'm more likely going to do a different route where it's, like I said, more so you're going to get the dreams day by day and have just basically maybe a scene or two the previous chapter before them of what is important. And whether or not I lean into flashbacks with those chapters, I don't know. I could, and I could, like I said, expand more into missing scenes from the Lost Kids, though I could also just leave the chapters themselves. I could also, like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. But nonetheless, Maddie's chapter today is what we were working on. So this might be the most you get before the flash forward of what a day would be. And it's more so supposed to be groundwork of expectations of what to take out of what's happening in her day. So when you miss her day, you understand, okay, well, this is what's going on anyway. So let's go ahead and get on into the writing. Well, here we are again, another midday break, and it is coming on, so we are about to get back into writing, and 4 more chapters, and I will be at that 6 chapter mark. Hopefully I should get that done. I don't think that any of them are going to be super long besides Calston, but the plan is to do the next chapter coming up, which is Matt's and his flashback, and then I'm going to skip over Tanner's. I might chop his completely because I don't think we necessarily need a point of view of his next until night. I think that's might be what I do. Matt's point of view and flashback, then it would be Maddie's and her flashback, and then we're going to skip over that and go to Calston's point of view. But instead of getting his flashback, I'm going to jump over and into next following chapter with Tanner and his flashback, as far as in that would be a Neverland Trials flashback, and I have an idea of what I want to do with it, and it works well being, like, it's going to be in the same placement whether or not I chop his next point of view between Matt and Maddie's. It's gonna be, that's gonna be the one I work on, is the one I have in mind. But I'm excited for it, and I think it's coming along great, and I can't wait for it to just be, I can't wait for you guys to read it. I'm so excited. But that's the goal, is to, I'm going to be working on Matt's. You saw a glimpse of it, and it's definitely, boy is unraveling, and that is definitely the vibe I'm going for. And yeah, because there's definitely stuff that goes down that I already have written in his point of view for after she gets back. So it's kind of, this little spiral is needed, and I'm definitely good to write it. Like, I enjoy, not that I enjoy this, if this was an actual person going through something like this, I would definitely have a heart for them, and at the same time, it's just enjoyable to write. Like, something about the intensity of things is enjoyable to write. So even though it's not like, oh, this is great, and even though this, it's easier for me to write these kind of spirals than it is somebody actually getting into, like, something is going on that is hurting them. Like, when it is just somebody is a little unhinged, a little off the rocker, I find it a little bit more like a fun write, because I'm just like, you're cuckoo bananas, and I'm kind of here for it. Like, those ones are the ones that I enjoy a little bit more. Like, I don't know, it's the unhingedness that is like slightly fun. And I do have another character that I'm kind of excited for that is a little bit off the rocker, and I enjoy writing it. So this is definitely what I'm about to write, is Matt's unhingedness, slightly probably being pulled back just a little bit, but I'm trying to figure out where exactly he is going to start getting off the deep end, because introducing him to the readers as this side of him is definitely fun. I've tried to have hints of that, and then just showing like how, yeah, I can't dive too much into it because of spoilers and just like different things that I'm not wanting to divulge just yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and get on into it and finish our day of writing. Well, it is evening. I am done. It is after 6 o'clock. Time change, so the sun is up. Lovely, because I don't feel like the whole day is gone, even though, like, geez. I am definitely just, like, not done as in I'm glad I'm done writing, but as in, like, today has felt a day worth being just done at the end of the day. Just tired, exhausted. I'm ready to just, like, chill out for a bit. But I got 5 chapters done. It wasn't a whole 6, but more than 3 is a plus as far as in 3. Yeah, because I have to get 6 chapters done for a month. So the fact that I did 6 chapters, technically 4 with 2 copy and paste last week, and then this week was 5. So we are definitely getting to the compiling more than needed part, which I'm thankful for. I did get 15 pages done. That was the page count. I gave the word count as overall, but as far as in for today, with just what I worked on today and not the whole book, I got 15 pages. So we are getting there. But I ended up getting both of Maddie's chapters, both of Matt's chapters. I did cut Tanner's chapter, but his following flashback was the one that I went into. And yeah, it definitely is, probably will critique it a little bit more so than I can see with the other chapters. Not that I don't try to critique, I'm just saying as far as, and sometimes I can write a chapter and I'm just like, we're definitely going to need to critique it, but I'm needing to get at least the idea down. Especially with trying to just write this year instead of trying to be editing and writing. I'm trying to get as much done as far as in just getting writing done and then critiquing later when I'm actually editing more specifically. So with this, it was just like, I'm just going to put down the best that I can do for now without getting too much of a hang up for it. And yeah, but I did enjoy it, and I am enjoying it, and definitely excited for this book, but also definitely glad to just be able to chill out and get to writing tomorrow, though it is not The Past Awakens, though it is not Hidden Shadows, Distorted Reality Book 3 tomorrow. It's gonna be Walking Through Suffering, I want to say, but we will get back to it next week for next Sunday, and I probably will not do a writing vlog for that one. For that week, I will probably just do The Lost Kids is what I'm leaning towards, possibly, or Peter's Shadow, possibly. I don't know, but I figured 2 weeks in a row of Hidden Shadow, I could give a little bit of a break, and I'm pretty sure you guys probably would appreciate it, unless you guys want me just to do nothing but writing vlogs for Distorted Reality or Hidden Shadows in the Distorted Reality series. Just let me know. What do you guys like? Do you like when you get a little bit of a variety of what I'm writing, or do you like it more when you get to stick to the same book? Do you like the fact that this one is the book that's getting posted online, so you get to have writing vlogs on that one compared to a writing vlog that you're not really going to see the book for a couple to few years? Let me know. But I'm not much for thinking of anything that I need to talk about because, like I said, I'm just done for the day. I am pooped, to say the least, and I'm ready to take a break, to chill, and then get some house stuff that needs to be done. But since this is a writing vlog and not a day in the life vlog, that is where we end our shift together. Is that the right word I want to use? I don't know. That is where we end our time together. That's better. And yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whenever it is for you. It is evening for me, so good evening to you. Goodbye.